Behind the Counter is sponsored by
Win Connections, October 29th to November 1st at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. Save $100 by using promo code TECH100 when registering. For more information, go to winconnections.com. Hover.com, domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. And by Stitcher Radio. Listen on the go via the Stitcher mobile app. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ.
Hello and welcome once again to another awesome episode of Behind the Counter. I'm your host, Rich Stambolian, and with me as always is the only man to have never been caught by Dog the Bounty Hunter, Jonathan Adler.
That's not true.
And our special guest today, Trevor Charles.
How's everybody doing?
All right. Trevor, we'll be talking with him later about his awesome Kickstarter project and a fellow comic book fan as well.
I was caught by Dog the Bounty Hunter. I spent that stint in Hawaii.
Mahalo, bro.
Mahalo.
You know what, brother? Just get your life together, man.
I was talking to our friend Bobby the other day, and I thought that a really good costume idea this year.
Dog?
But no.
Dog's wife?
That's always a possibility. Dog's son. All the dogs. Bobby as Rick. Ralph as Glenn, because he's a Filipino Asian boy.
Yeah.
Either myself or you as Abraham,
Uh-huh.
and then a zombie.
Okay.
Not a bad idea.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Better than the victims of Auschwitz that I had before.
That was the worst idea. POW 1, 2, and 3.
You want me to kiss the mic?
Get a little closer.
You're never right with me. Sometimes
you
I'm
need
too
better.
close.
You need better mic technique. That's all.
Mic technique, yo. Tell you about my mic technique.
No bickering. We got to guess. There's somebody new in the room.
Don't fight.
I'm sorry, can we just rewind for 1 second? Under what circumstances is victims of Auschwitz like an appropriate costume idea?
How is that not a good? I think it's very creative. I think we usually go to a German photography studio, and they would definitely get the joke.
I think they would laugh at it a little too hard.
When last year I went as Captain America, and they loved it because I beat the shit out of them when back in the day. But the year before that, they were all dressed as Navy guys, and it made me feel really uncomfortable because they all looked like official German soldiers.
Wow.
It was very, very creepy.
Where are the people who run the place actual off the boat German?
Yeah. It's the company is called Flugenstein or something like that, or Flugmeister.
Made that up.
I swear to God,
This is not a joke.
no, it's for real. Every year I go to the same thing. It's a photography studio.
Yeah.
Kenny's his
I know.
But yeah, it's like it's Flug, but I never remember the rest of the actual thing.
Lugenspiel.
Flugenspiel.
Yeah.
They make clocks and horrors of war.
Atrocities. Just atrocity. From the pictures that you always show me from the Halloween party, it looks like one big atrocity.
It is. It's a huge atrocity.
But a fun one.
It's pretty good.
Are you shaking your head, Trevor?
I just can't believe he had a legitimate answer for my question. That's really what
I will
me.
always have a legitimate answer for your questions.
I know. I don't know why I was surprised.
Especially dealing with the atrocities of war.
This show does nothing but blow people's minds on a weekly basis.
It's like the entire end of 2001.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that right now.
Good. That means the gas is working.
So,
Turn it on.
Of course you did.
The ether's on.
the ether's on. I never want to hear you say that.
The ether's on. Eddie Murphy movie, really good.
Yeah.
Ether's on.
It's good. No real news this week, right?
Well, they had a couple of announcements. They announced they're doing 2 X-Force books this year.
Ooh.
They're canceling Uncanny X-Force,
Okay.
and then bring it back a week later with Uncanny X-Force and Cable and X-Force,
Okay.
which is what we want.
Is it going to be like back in the day Cable and X-Force with Boom Boom and the wolf chick
No, no, that's Rain, dude.
and Warpath?
No,
that was
Feral.
Feral. Yeah.
Feral, yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
You know how I know that? I
Because-
just watched the season finale, the series finale of X-Men, the animated series.
Oh, that's right.
And
She is in that.
She's in that. She's on Magneto's island.
That's right. That's right.
Also, Andrew's comic book collection is in that other room, and
Yeah.
it's just all the old X-Forces.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
and anything with a hologram cover.
Yeah.
The team is Cable with an eye patch, Colossus. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to see.
And a couple of odds and ends. It's like a Dr. Nemesis, Forge is on it, which is good to see him
I like Forge, yeah.
working. And then like the Uncanny X-Force team is going to be like Spiral, Storm, and like two other like weird
How many
choices.
given X books are there ever at any like?
Well,
I'll say 7 right now.
yeah.
I have to say I get annoyed by it because I just feel like there's too much happening. And I was just telling one of my students today, like he was like, "Oh yeah, I love X-Men." I was like, "Well, that's great because I only want to hear about like 5 of them," and that's it. Only because there's just so many. And like they're not even. I mean, I know like they're supposed to be superheroes and everything like that, but they're not even superheroes. Everybody knows who you are. I could just come to your house and I could be like, "Oh, can I speak to Wolverine real quick?"
Well, you can speak to Wolverine in any of those books. I mean, he's there.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you be doing so many things all the time?
All the time.
Like every day, 24/7. I mean, I know you have a great healing factor, but does that mean you don't get insomnia?
Well, his mutant power is to appear in a lot of books. That's his main
Oh
thing.
my god, I can't take it.
That's the beautiful thing about the X-Men comics now is that they're actually making them superheroes
Yeah.
and making them proactive as opposed to just sitting in the mansion and being sad.
Well, see, that's the other thing that I liked about when Cassidy and Whedon, yeah, when they did Astonishing.
Yeah.
That was the last time I really like read X-Men like consecutively.
Which one is the
religiously.
flagship now? Uncanny still or no?
There's really not one flagship book.
Not anymore.
I mean, Uncanny is about to be canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Wolverine and the X-Men.
Wolverine and the X-Men.
That's as close as you can get to a regular book.
And you get Uncanny X-Force, X-Factor, Extreme X-Men, regular
Unnecessary.
X-Men.
This really sounds like the '90s extreme
Yeah.
X-Men.
I want to say there's
It
one.
is.
I want to say New Mutants.
New Mutants, that's
Oh
been
my God.
canceled.
And then you have the X Club miniseries.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything with an X in front of it.
Well, I mean, the best thing they do have going on right now is, Wolverine and the X-Men, which, yes, Wolverine's in the title, but it is a Dynamite book. And Uncanny X-Force. That has been clear and afar the best book they put out on
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
I mean, that's why they're pumping out 2 of these suckers.
Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't, suffer from oversaturation like all the other things. I mean, there's
It will, and it'll get curbed.
yeah. I mean that's we're about to enter like a new era of the continuity between Avengers and X-Men coming together. But there's going to be a lot of bloodletting after this is over.
There's also that I think it was announced today or yesterday that Amazing Spidey's ending after 700, and then it's getting the soft reboot.
Well, they didn't even announce that yet. I think it's because there's one. They've been teasing a lot of these new title launches with just one word thing. So like they had Killers with Sam Humphries, and now that turned out to be Uncanny X-Force. There's one with no title card, no credit list. It's Superior. So there's rumors that the actual Spider-Man book may be called the Superior Spider-Man, which goes along with my Atrocities of War theme of the show.
Did they make him like this ubermensch?
I hope so.
You want Red Skull and Spider-Man in the book? And
Yeah.
like, you want to see Superior Spider-Man?
Yeah. I want to see Spider-Man and Arnim Zola on a daily basis.
That could work as a team book with Venom, Spider-Man, and what's his name, Scarlet Spider.
Speaking of the team book, what was that one where it was like Spider-Man? He just gets to like team up with people, like
Marvel team up.
I'll team up.
Yeah, that was.
That was Kirkman.
Yeah.
Kirkman was doing that.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get to Kirkman later, but
Yeah,
as
problem
much
with
as,
Kirkman?
as much as I like the guy, he's not batting 1,000.
No, I mean
He's
I think
not batting 1,000.
Superhero books more on the low side than anything.
Yeah, like he should definitely create our own stuff, coming up with some kind of random idea, or go back to Invincible. Otherwise,
Yeah.
his Marvel stuff was really lacking when he came on. It was very subpar. Like I like some of the Marvel team up stuff, but most of it was you like the Marvel team up
I
stuff.
like the Marvel team up stuff more than I did. I think he had that run on Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah, I
which
don't like
was
that
just like
at all.
it was Dazzler's like love life basically.
Yeah.
For like 12 issues.
Yeah.
And it was okay. But it wasn't like and at that time he was putting out Walking Dead and Invincible and Battle Pope also.
That's right.
Creator
There was Battle
book. Astounding Wolfman, another
I do like
another
Astounding
gem.
Wolfman.
Super Dinosaur.
Super Dinosaur
Also,
was pretty awesome.
Another awesome book.
He had 2 dinosaur books at the same time too.
Just the thing with Kirkman is that he wasn't Eric Larson that left Marvel. they tried to bring an Eric Larson back to Marvel
Yeah.
to see what would happen, and it just kind of didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
I'd like to see him on some DC books though.
I would like to see anyone on some DC books.
Okay.
They as we said before, they have the worst talent
Mhm.
pooled in DC right now. They
Yeah.
are scraping. I think they're just renaming Jeff Johns 3 times over just to get books out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I only read Batman.
yeah. I mean, it's the only thing you really
good.
should be reading.
I only read Batman. I thought originally Voodoo was a cool idea, and I
It
read the
was.
first 2 like issues, and I was like really into it.
Yeah, it
And,
was
like,
good.
Like by the 3rd one, I don't know what happened, but I was just like, this is where I'm supposed to leave the room.
The one where Green Lantern showed up, I think.
Yeah,
That was
and I
like
was-
number 3 or 4. And
Yeah, after the first issue, she kills the guy, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
and then I don't know what happened.
There was we were arguing about that when it's like one of the first things we did when we started the show. We were in the New 52, and I was like, "There's no way that Voodoo was gonna be good." And then he's coming at me. He's like, "No, Voodoo was really good. It was actually a good, solid first issue,
first 2 issues.
first 2 issues." And then they're just like
The first
issue.
issues of almost because I read damn near all of
Me
the
too.
first
You
issues
all
of
did.
New 52. So even something like I Vampire,
That was
first-
really good.
really good first issue, kind of fizzled out.
It was the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. And then the only one that I actually stuck with and really liked, and yes, I do have a bias, was Batwing.
Batwing's not bad, but,
But-
after the first story arc, it didn't really take off.
What's,
Yeah, I
what's your
know.
bias?
My
With
bias is that I mean, it's
He's
that,
half Korean.
Yeah. He argues with his brother. So that's my bias. I also argue with my brother. And he stabbed me in the chest as well.
Yeah, you're also constantly dealing with the fact of a machete coming at your neck.
Yeah.
Glad to see you're all right, Trevor.
We're both child soldiers. It was there's a lot of similarities between me and Dave. I call him Dave.
What would you do if one of your students was listening to this and he was like, I didn't know, Mr. Charles?
I would just be like, you didn't see anything. These are all lies. Don't forget that I know what you do at school and your parents don't. I tell them that all the time. I will ruin your life, and I won't ruin your life until Friday afternoon at like 5 p.m. when you're about to go out. That's when I'll get you. Or on a 4-day weekend. Oh my God.
What do you teach, by the way? How old are your kids?
11th grade English.
Oh, wow. God bless you.
But the thing is that what's really weird is when I was in high school, I was on the young side, and I was like, I didn't turn 18 till I was a freshman in college. These kids are like 15, 16, some of them, and they're in 11th grade. So it's like, I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know how they're so young and they're in 11th grade already. I don't know. But it's a different state school system. So, I have no idea.
But you've also been giving them comics too, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, one of my students, he just took 2. Like I have a bunch of issues that I just lay, on the bookshelf in the room, and I'm like, if you want to take it, go ahead. One of the independent reading books they can choose is Watchmen. I'm trying to bring in some other stuff, but Watchmen was the only one I could like officially order. So like I have like a class set of that. I can teach that if I want. But I usually only do that. I only did that last year as an elective.
You teach them how awesome comedian is.
No, I do not. The first thing, first rule of a teacher who teaches Watchmen is like, make sure you make it clear comedian is not awesome.
He's not the good guy.
He's not the good guy.
I would assume that for a teacher, the entire book is a cautionary tale of don't do this
Bad decision.
and don't be that guy.
Everything that they do was bad.
Yeah, there's no good decisions. There's no good guy in that story. Everyone's a disappointment.
Someone's just a little less pitiful than like the person they're standing next to.
And don't stare at Dr. Manhattan too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I had to tell the kids, get over the nudity.
Yeah.
Let it go.
On the school ones, they don't block out the wanger.
No, they don't.
They make it bigger.
Actually, you know what? I actually have no idea because that's how far removed I am from like thinking about that. Is that the first time I read it, I was like, oh wow, you left him naked. Okay. But that was like years ago. And then I don't even think about that anymore. Like when I was watching the movie, I remember I went with a couple of my friends and they were like, oh my God, why is that there? And I was like,
The way it is, man.
he's like God.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing pants?
Why would God wear pants?
If I point at you and you explode, you gonna tell me to put pants on?
Excuse me, man. Can you please put some pants on? God.
That was the last line that Rorschach said to him, actually, in the original script.
Put some pants on.
Pants on.
I mean, like, you know what's funny when about the Wanger thing? When I was reading the Before Watchmen stuff and they started showing like TNA, I was like, oh, I forgot this is a dirty, dirty book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really thought they were not going to go that route. I thought they were going to like kind of tone it down and not do it, and I'm proud that he did.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of that stuff.
Good.
I read like 1 or 2 issues of a couple of them. I think it's just that I just don't care because Star Wars has ruined me on telling me what happened before when you already told me how it ended.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
If you give me one more season of Clone Wars, I will find George Lucas, and I don't know what I might do. I don't know what I'll be.
You can't
You
get
know,
near him.
You'd high five him.
I know you really can't.
You can't get near him. I would not
The
high-five him.
Skywalker Ranch is actually guarded by AT-AT Walker.
Would you really be like the multitude of guys that meet him and they're like, you know, you stink, you know, instead of like the one refreshing guy who's like, you know what, I get it, but
Rich,
you know,
Rich.
shake hands,
Rich,
brother.
you know me. You know
All
me.
right,
You know
that's
me
true.
really well. That am I gonna go to George Lucas and say like, "Good job on Boba Fett"?
I have seen you at the book expo.
Exactly.
I wouldn't tell him that. I wouldn't tell him that he sucks. I would just say like, because I get it. I read that statement where he was like, "Why would I make any more if you tell me that I suck all the time?" I would just say, forget that. You're rich. Just do it. You know people are gonna go and pay the money anyway.
Oh hell yeah!
Like no matter what.
They're always gonna, you know.
There's never a scenario where he doesn't make money.
No.
Tell me a scenario where he doesn't make money.
He always makes money.
Besides Willow.
Listen, I'd rather subscribe to Willow than Star Wars at this point.
So-
Man
so-
Mardigan is my hero.
So if they made another Star Wars movie after the original trilogy,
You mean
like a true sequel,
like the back three, like the last three?
yes, like no more Anakin, no more Hayden Christensen, dear sweet Jesus, you know, like
that guy's not. a good
you
actor.
wouldn't go see it.
I would definitely go see it.
But that's what I'm saying. See, see what I'm saying? This is the same guy that's gonna walk up to him, say, "Yo, you suck."
Mm.
No offense, but you suck.
Here's my money.
Good job with Boba Fett.
You know what?
But here's my $20
would-
now.
I would not go to the theater to go see something like that because you know it's gonna be terrible.
Really? Because I knew the other ones were gonna be kind of terrible, and I still went to.
I was under the fog of total Lucas impression by the first one.
No,
I was
man,
in
no.
it.
The
I
only
was-
person I trust in that whole thing was Ewan McGregor. That's the only one I trust. I only trust him. And Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I mean that was a good selling point. They had really good actors. Jimmy Smits was in
Yeah.
Bail Organa.
Bail Organa for 2 minutes.
You know what they should have done? Put Morgan Freeman in it. Morgan Freeman would make
He
anything
would have
better.
much better Mace Windu than Samuel L. Jackson.
I think so.
Yeah, but he can't move that swiftly.
It doesn't matter.
He doesn't
only-
need to. He could just stick his hands out.
Anakin didn't move that swiftly.
I don't want to talk about that.
He exists. At the end of the day, that man exists.
Look, man, I don't have to acknowledge that. So, you know, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that I still give him money. I know myself.
If he did you ever read the 3 novels after it? That stuff is good. If they
The Rise of the Empire or whatever?
yeah,
It's phenomenal.
They did that stuff, I would actually go see because that's the only thing I could see them actually adapting.
Yeah.
But knowing Lucas, he would do a brand new storyline from his own
Well,
weird mind.
Didn't that take place not directly after Jedi, but it was supposed to be like a little bit further in the future?
the kids were starting to grow up.
Yeah.
Uh,
After the last quote 3 that were supposed to be made, it was Heir to the Empire.
yeah.
Right.
And what's his name was? He was pretty much a weird older dude, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
He was like starting to go to the dark side.
But once again, I still wouldn't mind him coming up with something original again because, look, if he did it 3 times, I'm not talking about like episode 1, 2, and 3. I'm saying if he did it 3 times, good, you know, the right way, he could do it 3 times again.
Yeah. But you know what?
Look,
See,
man, 6 out of 9, that ain't bad.
But you know what? The thing about those the original trilogy is that his original input was demolished by everybody who's working on the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, like what's everybody's favorite scene in Empire, where Han Solo said when Princess Leia says "I love you" and Han Solo says "I know." He fought so hard to kill Han Solo.
Yeah.
And the director and the scriptwriters were like, "Listen, just
coolest
don't
dude."
kill him." And he was like, "I don't want him to say that." And Harrison Ford was like, "Well, I'm saying it," you know. And that's like those first.
I mean,
movies, man.
okay, but why can't they just recreate that situation?
Well, he needs
think
to
it'll happen.
step away from it. He needs more people. He needs like Empire was awesome because he didn't screenwrite it and he didn't direct it.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi was a
But
little bit less awesome.
I just don't get it. You can find no men everywhere. We got 2 of them right here. We'll tell him no. I'll tell him Jar Jar Binks is kind of offensive.
And then he throws money in your mouth.
Yo, he could throw money in my mouth, and I'm gonna give it back to him. I'm gonna be like, nah, man,
No. I think if George Lucas stuffs a $100 bill in my mouth, I'll say yeah.
nah, hell no, man.
It's like the $1 million. Everybody's got a price. All right. we've never really talked at length about Star Wars on this show. It's something that we always try to avoid because like we always come like clashing about it a little bit. It was good. It was nice and refreshing.
It's therapy.
What else? What do we have? Coming back to the comic books, Greg Rucka had like a nice little thing to say about Marvel and DC.
I didn't get a chance to read that. School me.
It wasn't nice, but Greg Rucka, I don't know if you're familiar with him, phenomenal writer, basically says like after his new run in Punisher, he's done with the big two. Saying like, look, you know what? Like I left DC because, you know, what happened there was kind of my fault, but not really. You know, like they're becoming like this bastardized nation of corporate stuff.
What do you mean not his? That it was his fault?
That like
that he clashed with them and that he wasn't happy with the direction,
right? And that the deals he made, he was like, you know what, I was a little naive with the deals I made, etc. But at the same time, they kind of like steamrolled over me, you know. And he's quoting himself saying like, Didio came out and was like, you know, we would never let go of Rucka. You know, he'll always be writing Gotham Central. And then Rucka's like, well, you know what, they canceled the book, yet it's still one of the top selling trades that DC has.
Yep.
And Didio basically said, like, this guy doesn't make us any money. And he's like, I'm still making the money.
Didn't he have a hand in the first run on Batwoman?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He helped invent Batwoman.
Yo, Batwoman Elegy? Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah. That was...
He mentioned that, too. He mentioned that he was like, if these hot-selling books, you know, aren't because of me, then, like, you know, what made them so popular? It was my work.
Him and Brubaker manufactured the entire Gotham Central cast.
Yeah.
He introduced the incredible stuff that with Renee Montoya, which they now have wiped out completely.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, like, no, it is. It's also the people who worked on 52. All those guys have like PTSD. As much as we love 52, I'm sure you love 52 as well.
You mean
the original 52, like the 52 miniseries?
Yeah.
Everyone kind of like Steve Wacker ended up leaving from Marvel. Keith Giffen is still like he's chained to the desk. You know, he's the go-to writer artist for them. Jeff Johns got a promotion out of it. Grant Morrison just spiraled into All-Star Superman. Now is leaving the company. Greg Rucka left.
Weird dude.
Yeah, man.
A weird dude.
But he's leaving DC now.
He's like to me, I just put him in. He's like, you know,
Morrison. You're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Alan Moore with no hair. Like when I think of like weirdness, like, you know, I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't know what he's gonna write.
It's a different kind of weird.
And it's like when I read some of your stuff, I literally sometimes don't get it, but I still like it, and I'll still buy it.
Did you read Action Comics? His run?
Some of it, but I'm really removed from Superman, only because I'm really selective with like both Batman and Superman because I like them so much that like I'll actually read more stuff I don't like, hoping it's going to convince me that maybe there's something redeeming here than I will with them too. Like the last Superman like trade or graphic novel I bought was Last Son, the one with the Richard Donner.
Best.
And that was really good.
Yeah.
Beautiful art. You know, but I'm really selective.
That was really good. I thought I was gonna hate that.
I'm just I don't know. I'm weird like that.
It's really hard for me to be sold on Superman. You know that.
Oh yeah.
And that's also my roommate's favorite superhero. So like,
really?
Yeah. But like out of the two of us, you know, that's like someone that he like idolized only because, you know, he's like the guy that can save everybody or who's at least gonna give it a shot. You know, like he's got the heart. So I respect that. I like that. And like, you know, Batman and Superman may as well be like that. You can make like a buddy cop movie out of those two. Just like, you know, Batman saying like, "This is stupid. I'm not doing this. We should just do the logical thing." And he's like, "Oh, come on, Bruce.
No, shoot at my chest.
Come on.
Just somebody throw something at my chest right now."
You know, I had Captain America growing up. That was my cheesy, you know, heartfelt dude that I followed. But I still have weird hang-ups with Superman. But I think most people have either a Batman or Superman connection in their life. I think if you ask, you know, 9 out of 10 people, most people say like Batman is probably their favorite superhero.
Yeah.
Best costume.
Really? Point these people out to me because everyone tells me I'm an idiot because a lot of people say that like, oh, why do you like him best? And I don't know. I'm just like, yo, because he's smart.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Working in the Jonathan and I used to work in a comic store together, and you know, like fans would come in and say, like, you know, we'd kind of ask him sometimes, like, "What's your deal with this?" Right? And I remember one day
talking about questionable decisions.
Yeah, and just like people who came in with like the fervor of like a certain character, and there was one dude who was also a teacher, and I won't name him, But I remember one day he came in and I was like, "What's your deal with like the Batman stuff?" You know, I was like, what does it for you about Batman?" And he straight face turned around and was like, "Well, you know what? I could really identify with Batman." And in my head, I'm like, "Your parents were killed when you were 8 years old, and you're an orphan."
You visit their grave every day,
and you've trained your body to be this the peak of human conditioning, and you're here buying this comic book right now, and you're just like, well, not in that respect. Then what
So
is
in
that,
what
you
respect are you rich?
know? You know, like yeah, if you're
Not because you're a teacher. I can attest to that.
like I could see why people love Batman, but to say like, oh, I'd love Superman, I would never be like, well, I identify with Superman because I came from a different planet and I save everybody.
Honestly, unless you suffered some sort of like family tragedy or you're an orphan, there's really not many other ways you can identify on a personal level, you know, like with their type of strife. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
especially like a lot of the DC guys, because they're basically gods. You know, the Marvel guys are a little more ground level, but there's still like
see, I used to think
bit.
the other way around, and now I just don't know. I'm just upside down now. I'm like confused because everybody's just like, I don't know.
I think I grew up identifying with Spider-Man because he's a regular dude.
Yeah.
He's like the regular, guy from Queens. But then as I grew older, I realized I sympathized more with the Thing because I spent most of my childhood, in a trench coat and hat, lurking around questionable neighborhoods with little kids.
What is wrong with you?
The old Auburndale gang,
Exactly.
the old Peck Park boys.
I used to play soccer a lot.
But yeah, it's just like you never know what does it for fan. A lot of the times it's like like the easy answer is like he's got claws.
Yeah.
You know?
The other thing is that
Love
like
it.
since I'm a person who has I love literature, so I will a lot of times go with what's best written. And truthfully, I mean, Batman and Superman, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, they're gonna have the most Captain America. They're gonna have the most opportunities because they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to screw up like Batwoman, Static Shock. Characters that realistically you could get a lot of different demographics other than people like us into it, but you screw it up, and then they get canceled, then they don't come back, then everything gets redone all over. I swear, if somebody hits the reset button one more,
What's gonna happen?
it's like the old school gray PlayStation. You know how many times you like accidentally like hit the reset button, and you're just like, damn it,
Yeah.
I just beat.
I was so close. There's no autosave.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
not going back to this.
It's like you finally beat like whatever the last like ridiculous like jacked boss and like Tekken was, and like you're waiting for the credits, and you had to go get that drink of water, and like you slip when you got up, and you like press the button, and that's it.
That's happened way too often.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's gonna happen again. They are gonna definitely reset DC again. There's no way in my mind that this is gonna be.
Nah, man, they gotta
be
stick
better.
with it. They gotta stick with it, man.
They can't stay at this point, man. Like unless they do something drastic.
Just stick with it and just weed out the crap, man. Just weed out the crap. That's all you have to do.
They will have 5 books on the shelf if that.
Yeah,
was the
they're gonna
case.
have Batman. They're gonna have
Well, the other
Scott
thing is that
Snyder
you
running
have
everything.
You have to revitalize the talent too, or like give some people some fresh opportunities. I mean, there are a lot. Like for example, what's his name is now writing for Valiant, Justin Jordan, guy who came
Hell
with
yeah.
Luther Strode.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I've been
show's good.
following Trad Moore on DeviantArt for like 2 years, and I loved his artwork. And when I was trying to find like an artist that I really like their style, he was like one of like the 100 people I like put in the list. And like 100 is honestly not a lot in DeviantArt, speak because there's like millions. And I randomly one day go look on Image and it says Justin Jordan Trad Moore, and I was like, that name sounds so familiar. Could not believe that. But that's what I'm saying. You give a guy like that an opportunity.
Well, these guys who you kind of heard about like a few years ago are not like the artists. I think aren't as much in question as the writers at this point. Where like you'll have like the influx of the Latin artists now who were just like, I don't want to say nobodies a few years ago, but like they were on books here and there, and now you have them on
Dominant.
a lot of books. You have guys
Because
like,
that's an untapped. That's like that was. I feel like previously that was a largely untapped like group.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's another one, and I kid you not, because I had another project that I was trying to do fizzle out. But actually Indonesia
Okay.
has so many good artists. It's
Good
ridiculous.
work ethic and eye for the cheap.
Like I cannot believe how good some of these, and some of them honestly don't know their value. There's a couple of them that do, but a lot of them don't. They just don't know.
That's
Well-
how they're getting jobs.
Well, talk to us about what you're doing.
Well, so Seabreeze Lane was a short story I wrote when I was in college, and a lot of my friends, I showed it to them just because I was trying to get, other people's opinions about it. They're like, oh, I really like the story. This sounds really cool. And everyone kept saying, oh, this could definitely be an anime. It's definitely be an anime. And all I kept thinking in my mind was like, anime is awesome, but anime is expensive. Like, animating anything is super pricey, and it's amazing that anything gets animated anymore because almost nobody wants to pay for it. Like, I'm very happy for Michael Jai White. I can't believe Black Dynamite got turned into into an animated series. I'm being totally legit because I remember when he was Spawn.
Yeah.
And he was Spawn.
He'll always be Spawn.
That's it.
But now he's in his romantic comedies and he's doing this and he's doing that. Good for him, and that's like an expensive endeavor. So I was like, all right, maybe I could turn it into a comic book. So I kind of got that process started, and then I kind of started, looking for people that I thought would mesh in terms of style and everything like that. And I came across this guy. He was actually on conceptart.org. It's similar to DeviantArt, but it's not organized. It's definitely not organized the same way. And they I don't even know what the site's real purpose is. But long story short, I found him on a forum. I sent him the story, and he immediately sent me back. The next day, he was like, "Yo, let's do this." So I was happy about that. And funny enough, he happens to be friends with a colorist who used to color on Transformers or IDW. So that to me, that added another level of professionalism, because the guy already has great art, but now you're telling me that you're buddies with somebody who, has been in the professional field and everything like that. So I was like, this is good. And then everybody else that was on the project, friend Frank and Aaron, Frank helped me with a lot of the logo designs and everything like that. And Aaron helped me edit press releases, portions of the script. And basically everyone's just been really supportive. But the story is about, it's almost like a reverse idea of thinking about humanity's origins. So this is told from the perspective of a kid who is on the moon, and they call it the homeworld instead of the moon. To them, it's not the moon. That's their home.
Okay.
They live in these cities, these dome cities that there's 3 of them. They basically simulate everything you would need in life. They don't have a lot of the things that we necessarily have now or get to experience now. But the thing is that the moon is this completely different world. It's not like the way I described it in an interview I did for some small blog, was that it's something familiar wrapped in something strange. So, it is the moon, but there's a lot of other things it has a very thin, but, not really sustainable atmosphere. It has valleys. It, has, there are things that live outside, not only these nomadic, other race of people that's at least what people in the domes think they are, but there's creatures, there's animals, there's things like that. And all of that comes from the idea that it would make sense because I kind of did the origin in the, of how everyone got there, similar to how, I had the Joker's origin in mind from Dark Knight or from The Killing Joke. He kept telling these stories about how he became the way he became, but you don't necessarily know which one is, all of them could be plausible, but you don't necessarily know which one is it. And that's kind of what I do. That's kind of what I did in the story, because the short story was, it was maybe 6 or 7 pages long, but I had to expand it. A lot of the characters in it weren't even in the original. I blew up basically this scene that was, the main character David sitting in a therapy session because he's obsessed with Earth. It's something they don't talk about anymore. So, he is supposed to be their next chosen leader or to represent them, and they're worried because it's you can't be talking about this thing that we don't really talk about anymore. It doesn't, not that it doesn't exist, but it's it's a taboo. It's a myth. At this point, they can kind of say whatever they want to say about it.
Now,
and
do you have a finite story in mind, or
no? I mean, there's that. The story is done. It's just a matter of how I've changed it for a different medium, because graphic literature is obviously different than just traditional written. So when I wrote the short story, I kind of wrote it, I don't know, I forget what it was that kind of inspired me to write it exactly, but I had I was thinking about a lot of different movies, and I think of everything in like a cinematic way. So like, when I'm looking for inspiration, I think about things that like, really stand out to me. Like I liked all the hues and the blues and the kind of the dark tones that they used in Minority Report. I will always love that movie, if for no other reason, the cinematography. I'll always love Tim Burton's first 2 Batman movies because of the way he created an atmosphere. Like nobody else can create a gothic Gotham like he can. Like that's an atmosphere. No matter what he does, that's that's got his flair on it. And at the same time, I also know what types of atmospheres I don't like. I know exactly what a Joel Schumacher Gotham looks like too. I know what that feels like.
We all sadly know what that looks like.
I don't like the way that feels.
I don't think Joel Schumacher looks like that.
Now,
I don't know. Yes, he knows what he did. He knows what he did. He wears a neckerchief. He knows what he did.
He also knows he did to the Corys too.
Now you recently started the Kickstarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fill us in. Give us the link. Like what people
basically
can do.
it's about halfway done. We got 16 days left.
Congratulations, man! I saw the update yesterday. That's a good inroads right now.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm not like some of these. I mean, the other thing is that a lot of the other ones that I followed for a long time, and like because like I've backed like 40 projects at this point. But the one thing is that I guess I kind of reached a point where I was like, this is something I want to do. You have to support it. Like that's another reason why I went back to like buying comics as opposed to like, if I could just wait until someone just gives them to me or I can get them for free. That's why I went back to buying comics. Like when I was talking about, Prophet and Glory and all these revitalized,
image books.
Image books. I paid for all of Prophet. Like basically what's going to be the first trade, I paid for all of it. Like I was hooked.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to do. And the other thing is that like, I don't know, when it comes to Kickstarter, like in some of these comics, like that you're getting something special, something exclusive, and somebody literally poured like everything they got into it. I'm liquidating my savings just to do this, and that's a big deal. So it's like I really want it to be successful, but I also want people to understand. I want people to be as invested in it as I am to like read it, as I am to like create it, like get it out there.
Well, it's your baby.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna come across in the actual project itself too. I mean, you're absolutely passionate about it, and I'm sure it's gonna come across in the writing and the actual delivery of the story.
I really hope so, because if someone comes up to me and is just like, yeah, man, so I paid the $40 and it sucks. You kind of like George Lucas.
George Lucas is you,
and I'm gonna someone's gonna George Lucas me, and then I don't know what I might donkey punch him or something. I don't know.
I got your back, man.
I'm just gonna be like, yo, man, I don't think you understand like what I went through to do all this.
Now what now after talking about it, you're going for more of like a graphic novel, right? Now, how long do you want it to be? Do you want to be broken up? Are you going to continue to write stories, etc. after this one? Hopefully, it takes off.
This one is going to be 5 chapters. I have toyed with the idea of doing like a almost like a Prometheus kind of side story kind of thing that kind of just it explains certain things, but it's not like a direct sequel or prequel or anything like that. But it's 5 parts. They range from 22 to like 30 pages max. The first issue, I actually just got the last edited pages and everything like that, because we go through a couple of different versions of them. So like that one's totally done. It's in the can. It's ready to go. It's lettered. It's colored. Everything's good with that one. And everything else is underway right now. And I want to do a hardcover. I'm gonna release everything as it is completed.
Okay.
For the purpose of those who just like have to have it now, like that's how I am. I don't. Most of the time, I just wait for the trade, but some I have to I got to get the story, as it comes. Yeah. But I wanted to make it hardcover because another project on there, a guy named Jason Brubaker, he did Remind, really really great.
That's
graphic
stuff. Yeah. That's really good stuff.
He made a point of saying that he wanted to make it hardcover, one because he wanted to make a coffee table comic book, and the other because it just lasts longer. Yep. It looks nicer. And that's what I wanted. So like, honestly, I have another project that's like in progress right now. It's a more traditional like superhero story. It's almost like I'll say Dexter meets Batman.
That's good too.
And that is going to be hardcover too. Everything I do is going to be, when it's all collected, it has to be hardcover. But I'm really hoping that I can like continue to do this and it won't like, kill me financially. Okay. I don't necessarily need to make a profit, but if I can break even and actually, get myself out there, then I'm perfectly happy. Funny enough, I actually got emails from a letterer and an artist, just saying like, I really like your stuff. If you ever want to like work together,
cool.
we could do
awesome.
something. So that was really flattering because to me it's just I don't know. I just wanted to write a story and
It's a labor of love for you.
yeah. So that's a big deal for me. Like I'm humbled by that. I don't want to seem like arrogant or anything. It's just like
No,
that
shows you you're doing your work and that's actually paying off, and regardless of its financial gain or whatever. It's the fact that you're delivering a story that you're proud of and that actually people are appreciating it.
Yeah, it's what you want.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, we obviously we both hope that it gets picked up. You get your name out there. Now, if you move on to other projects, what would be your personal ideal book to work on?
Like existing ones,
existing characters, or anything like
existing characters. If I could work on anything. What's crazy is I don't even know if I'd want to work on Batman because I wouldn't want to screw it up.
Man.
That's what I mean. The bar is like up
you go
here.
into the mythos.
Truthfully, I probably want to. If I want to do like my civil duty, one thing I definitely want to do is like try and revitalize like some of these like black characters that suck.
Okay.
Or that like aren't very successful at all unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, one of my favorite cartoons to watch was Static Shock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Like, I feel like you could do a lot with that and get a lot of people into it if you do the right thing with it. But otherwise, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd probably want to write for something on Image. Honestly, they're doing a lot of good stuff that I like.
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Probably Invincible. I really like Invincible.
I
think that would be a fun book to write on or just be a part of, just because like. It's almost like a toy box.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy like basically took DC, Marvel, threw them in the same box, and just shook it and said, "Okay, these are the characters I'm going to work with."
And you have an opportunity with Bulletproof, who's an awesome character who's now taking over for Invincible.
Yeah.
You have like good, solid characters that you can play with, and now they're expanding on. Like Guardians of the Globe is now
Right.
there.
And that's the thing. I waited forever for that. Like I was just
That
like,
was amazing.
I was like, when is this coming back? But I'd probably say that'd probably be the one I'd probably want to do, that or Guardians of the Globe. I really do like
It's
that.
a lot of fun.
But yeah, I couldn't touch any of the ones that I really, really, really like. I would have to leave them alone.
I'll go. Because you mentioned your quote civic duty. Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
great.
Night Thrasher.
Why?
Night Thrasher.
Night Thrasher.
You know Night Thrasher.
Who's Night Thrasher?
Night Thrasher's
he's a black guy on a skateboard. He had like nunchucks.
Holy Warriors.
How could you not want to write that book?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I would want to write that book.
Please. It was civic duty.
Because it's Night Thrasher.
I mean, if I gotta do my civic duty, I'll do it. But Ultimate Spider-Man, like I remember reading about that whole thing and like so many people had such a problem with it. Like, I mean, you got to remember some of these characters are like they're heroes behind a mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's the symbol. It's not necessarily the man underneath it. You know, it's like I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like like when Dick Grayson became Batman. Cool. I knew that wasn't permanent.
Right.
What's the big deal? Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond. Great. It's not Bruce Wayne, but that's still Batman. Miles Morales. That's Spider-Man. I don't care if he's black and Hispanic. He's still Spider-Man.
And he's still, at the end of the day, he's a kid, just like Spider-Man, running around risking his life and saving lives.
Yeah. So I don't understand because
doesn't matter.
I don't know. That's just. I mean, I
hate the fact that we have to identify certain characters as like a racial character, a black character. It's really
unless
it's Black Lightning, because
that's in the title.
It's in the title,
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's the unfortunate like reality of it.
I know.
Because some, for example, like Black Lightning will never get away from that because his name is Black Lightning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they tried at one point to actually rename him, and
I think they did. They called him like Synergon or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they
They did something stupid.
terrible.
Yeah.
Wow, Synergon.
Something
Black
ridiculous.
Lightning-
So basically, what you're telling me was he was a black transformer. That's what he was. Synergon.
No, that was Steel.
Oh my god. That's another thing. I love Steel. Steel was
Steel was. You know what?
no
not the
during,
movie. Not the
during
movie.
Reign of the Supermen.
That was one of
Yeah.
the best ones.
Steel was great.
The 52 stuff with Steel was fantastic too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Steel's good.
Steel, I think, has developed into a really good character. They just keep on dropping the ball with him.
Yeah.
In Action Comics, they didn't do too bad with him.
No. But like, I just think when I like.
You're
Steel,
right. In the interim,
You think what it is? I just think about Steel, and I just think of like
Shaquille O'Neal.
Not even that. I don't even let that cross my mind. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's Shaquille O'Neal, and I like Shaquille O'Neal.
Everybody gets one.
Huge Kazam fan, also.
I am a huge Kazam fan. I really just I don't get the Steel character. Just like a dude named John Henry Irons who decided to put on a Superman symbol, swing a hammer, and it's basically like the Black Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like I would rather not have that. I would rather him just be a really smart dude who does like smart things, like a Hank Pym for for DC.
Well, you have that in Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, but they ruined him.
Yeah.
I didn't say they didn't ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
he
saying,
was-
you had that.
He was the prime example of a character who has transcended the race boundary. Like no one ever really brought up the fact that was a black superhero because he was an incredible, well thought out, well developed character. They handle him so well. They relaunched him in 52. The first thing he does in the first issue is like, "I'm a black man and I am pissed off."
Yeah.
Did you read that? I think
Yeah.
that was like literally in the text. Of
Nah,
the book.
that was in print. Somebody,
Yeah.
an editor said this is okay. This is
Of
okay.
course they're gonna say it's okay. It's a white guy going like this. Like, good job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you think about the corporate aspect of it, and it just seems like somebody who's like, he'd say something like that, right? you guys go with this?
Before we came on, I was reading DC Presents, and they had a Mr. Terrific like kind of wrap up story, and basically his black son, who's dead, who's talking to him, actually turns out to be a white guy impersonating the black son.
Really?
Yeah, something really subversive and metaphorical about that.
That's rough.
Yeah. Give us a place where we can actually check out the
Please.
Kickstarter. Give us, I know it's a
I
long web address.
I set up. I mean, you could just Google Seabreeze Lane graphic novel or Seabreeze Lane Kickstarter,
or your name
and,
probably.
Yeah, and it'll pop up. You can go to lakefrontcomics.com. It's like my little like imprint or whatever that I've just set up, just kind of put my stories under, and it's right on the homepage.
Right on.
And speaking of Mr. Terrific, though, did you read Earth 2 Zero?
Yeah, of course it did.
I
Damn,
must have missed that one.
that's a like I don't know.
Awful.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to know that's Mr. Terrific?
They don't even mention him. Like he was.
He's Mr. 8.
He was the
He's
he was
Mr. 8.
He was the guy who hung out with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and just got really terribly scarred up and screwed him over. He's a scumbag.
He went from a fan favorite to garbage.
Oh, they,
Literally, like that stuff. That last. I don't know if you read that last run in JSA, like one of the last ones before the relaunch, where it was the prison colony.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it was like this awesome story in this future prison colony where basically Mr. Terrific busts everybody out, and it's like this really cool thing, and like it's in the future, and like how he screwed it up,
That
and they
was
ended
well,
up,
yeah.
and then like he fixed it, and it was like it had to do with like his dead wife and like all this really cool stuff, and he ended up dying
Yeah.
because of it, and it was just like, oh, this is an awesome story.
And which Mr. Terrific was it? Was it Michael Holt or was it?
Yeah, no, it was Michael Holt.
Yeah.
I definitely have to read this now.
It was really.
See, that
solid.
sounds good.
Yeah, it was
You know?
really well written.
And even his checkmate stuff. He was like, he was Nick
Yeah.
Fury for the most part for a long period of time. Before Samuel Jackson was really, Nick Fury at this point.
And they've even brought him into regular Marvel universe.
Nick Fury Jr.
You don't even want to read that. You don't even want to read how they did that.
I know how I
Yeah.
did read how they did
Did
that.
you?
And I don't know.
Was it good?
I feel like we were the only ones who read that.
I felt dirty.
Three of us.
There's a lot of things that they do. I just feel dirty about them.
Yeah.
Like
Corporate.
I can't be a part of this.
Corporate Marvel.
I mean, it's Disney.
Yeah.
It's Warner Brothers at the end of the day.
Mhm. I mean, it's an easy wrap up, with like saying like, "I'm really your dad, kid." It was like, hey, I don't know who you
I
are.
don't know how this works.
Give me the suit now.
It's like
And he's in the suit.
you want Samuel L. Jackson in it that bad?
No.
You don't need
That bad?
And,
Well, that's what they're saying though.
and his name is Nick Fury Jr.
And how do they all keep getting their eyes poked out? For the love of Jesus, like
well,
wear goggles. Wear goggles. You know it runs in your family.
you have, and also I think Marvel per capita has the most one-eyed
Yeah.
characters on the market
They must have some sort of like chip on their shoulder. about
and
that.
glowing eyes.
I
A
want-
lot of glowing eyes.
I want
Somebody
that
up at the
team.
top's got one eye, and he's just like, "Oh, we're gonna, somebody's losing an eye somewhere."
I want that. I want the team of Nick Fury Jr., Cable, and Odin, led by Cyclops.
You're getting it.
You're
getting it.
That's
It's Christmas
the,
time.
the one eye book.
Merry Christmas, Rich.
Yeah.
Oh
Make
my
mine
God.
Marvel. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here tonight. Thank you very much, Trevor Charles. You can find him on Kickstarter with
Lakefront Comics.
Lakefront Comics. Sorry, and check it out. Donate to it. We will be donating to it as well. Anything you want to say before we go?
Just thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Come back.
And this is not nearly as inappropriate as I thought it would be.
Nah. It's a good day.
I could actually show this to my mother because she won't get all the wanker jokes. So it's all good.
She'll get the Auschwitz jokes though.
Yeah, she will. She'll get that one.
Terrible. So yeah, we'd love to have you back, man.
Yeah, definitely gotta do this again.
All right,
fun.
cool. I'm Rich Stambolian.
I'm Jonathan Adler.
All right.
Today.
Good night. One day only. One night only. Later, guys.